And welcome on back here in the Spectrum in Logan, Utah, where Utah State and Boise State are just about to get underway. These two squads have given us some really fun games over the last few years. They split the season series last year. They've split the last 6, but not a lot of players are back for either of these teams from last year. Boise State, just 3 players back. Utah State lost a whole lot as well. They only have 4 players back from last year's squad. So, well, it's been a really fun series between these two teams as of late. It's going to be interesting to see what we get here tonight in the Spectrum. I'm Jaden Johnson here courtside for some Mountain West Conference women's hoops action. We've got starting lineups coming through right now, and let's go ahead and take a look at those. For Boise State, the Broncos are going to go with number 12, Mary Kay Narrow, the freshman guard from Beaverton, Oregon. Number 30, Jade Lavelle, the junior guard from Sammamish, Washington. Number 33, Abby Muse, the freshman forward from Brentwood, California. Number 35, Alexis Mark, the freshman forward from Chatsworth, California. And number 44, Mallory Mcguire, the senior center from Reno, Nevada. So you'll notice 3 freshmen in that starting lineup. Well, Boise State has 10 freshmen on their roster of 13 total players. So, yeah, they've had to go with some freshmen this year. They've had to play young. They've had to try and build for the future. And despite all that, they're 10-7 and 500 at 7-7 in conference play. You'll also maybe notice, if you're a Boise State fan, no Rachel Bowers in the lineup. She's missed the last handful of games. I'm sorry, she missed the most recent game against UNLV. And despite her making 10 starts and 14 appearances on the season, she is out tonight for Boise State. Now, Utah State is going to roll with number 2, Megan Mendozona, the freshman guard from Monmouth, Oregon. Number 4, Jessica Chapman, the graduate forward from Ridgefield, Washington. Number 10, Emmy Harris, the senior guard from Danville, Kentucky. Number 23, Shiloh Latone, the redshirt sophomore guard from San Diego, California. And number 25, Hallie Nelson, the freshman guard forward from American Fork, Utah. So that is the 12th unique starting lineup that Utah State has used this season. They're without 3 players. You'll notice no Faith Brantley in the lineup. She started all 17 for the Aggies this year, but she's out tonight with an injury, as is Ellie Emmerich, as is Kamalu Kamakaviva Ole. So that's 3 players who have put in some pretty significant minutes for Utah State this season, who have been a pretty big part of this team, not playing tonight. So for Utah State, they're going to have to, I think they're going to roll with Shiloh Latone a lot at the point guard spot. She is not a point guard, hasn't played much point guard, but you got to deal with the hand that you're given. So I think we'll see a lot of Shiloh Latone at the point guard spot, and then it'll be interesting to see how they fill in on the wing without Kamakaviva Ole. Heading out to the center for the opening tip for Boise State, it is Mallory Mcguire winning it and earning the first possession of the game for Boise State, and immediately the first points just 10 seconds in on the lefty layup for the Broncos. It's Jade Lavelle. So a quick start for Boise State, and Utah State now with their first trip down the court, seeing if they can't answer the bell. Emmy Harris has it on the right wing for the Aggies. She kicks it up top, finds Chapman, 10 on the shot clock now. Chapman hands it off to Mendozona, who will come off the screen. Mendozona drives, kicks, 3-pointer on the right wing. Emmy Harris puts Utah State up with a 3-ball. Utah State coming off their 2 lowest scoring performances of the season against Wyoming, just 56 and then 42 points, as we've got a block by Chapman down low. She swats the shot of Mark, and Utah State comes up with the stop. Left wing 3, Chapman can't find that one, and the rebound brought down by Muse. Here's a pass down to the post. Mcguire backs in. Mcguire is a force in the post, and she just makes it look easy as she puts one up off the glass to make it 4-3. But a very quick, Chapman fumbled the ball. There was a pass into the front court. Chapman was cutting at the rim. She had nothing but space, but the ball just went through her fingertips and out of bounds. So the Aggies blew an opportunity for points there. They trail it 4-3. Bronco ball early on here in the first. So Narrow, the point guard for the Broncos. She averages 4.5 assists per game as a true freshman. Kicks out to Lavelle, then back up top. Mcguire gathers it in. Passes it out. Right elbow 3-pointer is missed by Mark. And Harris there for the ball off the air ball. So a couple minutes in, driving. Mendozona, right-hander off the glass, won't fall, but the offensive board by Hallie Nelson. She tries to go back up and is mauled, and they're going to call that a jump ball. Will stay Aggie ball. Tell you what, Hallie Nelson, Jessica Chapman, these Utah State posts have their hands full with the 6'5" Mallory Mcguire, the 6'2" Abby Muse. Those are some pretty tough players to defend and to play against on the other side. Driving and missing the layup goes Latone, but the offensive board by Nelson again gives Utah State another opportunity here. Hallie Nelson holding her own down in the post. Mendozona drives. She falls to the ground, got kind of tripped up. I think she tripped over her own foot, and it will go out of bounds, so a turnover for the Aggies. As Boise State will regain possession. 7:51 to go in the first. It's 4-3. Narrow out of Beaverton, Oregon. Now on the left wing. Here's a three-pointer off the mark by Mcguire, but the rebound deflects all the way back out to Lavelle. So another Bronco possession. Lavelle pulls up. I think that was a 2, but she misses, and the rebound is knocked out of bounds and will go back to the Aggies. Mark, the last player to touch it. Boise State not... It's kind of weird because the last few years, Boise State has been a prolific three-point shooting team. Players like Riley Lupfer, they've had some incredible shooters. This year, they are not that team. They're an inside team. They're a mid-range team. They're actually last in the conference in three-point percentage and second to last in 3 points and three-pointers attempted. We've got a missed three by Shiloh Latone and the rebound by Boise State. Driving for the Broncos is Lavelle. She'll kick it out to the corner, and then Mcguire dishes into the post. Finds Muse, trying to pass it out and losing it out of bounds. The Broncos, she tried to pass it to Mark and it hits the baseline, so Utah State will get it back. Still 4-3 at the 7:03 mark now. Utah State scored on their first possession with a three-pointer, has not scored since. Latone passes it out to Mendozona. Aggies rocking some pink tonight. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Night for Utah State. Harris down to the post, then back out. Harris launches for three. That's no good. She hit the only shot of the game for Utah State, but can't hit that one, and the rebound is brought down by Boise State. Here goes Narrow, giving it up top to Mcguire. Mcguire, don't let her fool you. Standing at 6'5", she is the top three-point shooter on the team as they capitalize with a bucket down in the post by Abby Muse. 6-3 now, Boise State leads. A pass is tipped as Latone tries to get it down to Mendozona, but Mendozona will gather it in after the tip by Mark. Mendozona goes to the floor. She's wrestling for it. Another jump ball called, and this time it will go the opposite direction as Boise State will force the Aggie turnover. Yeah, Mendozona just kind of fell to the ground with it. Boise State is such a tough team to go up against in the post, and Utah State is trying to go at them time after time. So 6:10 to go, just 3 points for the Aggies. Here's an elbow jumper off the mark by Mallory Mcguire. Rebound by Hallie Nelson. She's doing work on the boards. Nelson will dish it off on the right wing. Out to Harris, who comes off the screen set by Nelson. Harris tries to go up with the lefty, and the shot is blocked out of bounds by Abby Muse. Boise State 5th in the nation in blocks per game. They average 6.4 swats per contest. And Utah State just learned that the hard way as Abby Muse picks up her 28th of the year. The inbound goes to Nelson. Nelson tries to go up and is blocked again by Muse. So Muse with 2 blocks in a matter of about 4 seconds of game time. Now we've got a spin and a jumper, and Alexis Mark with a pretty little move. She might be, I'm not going to make a prediction, she might be the Mountain West Freshman of the Year. As Latone drives, Latone kicks, and a three-pointer by Mendozona is just a little bit too strong. It's 8-3. Utah State struggling early on the offensive side, just 3 points through 4.5 minutes. Three-pointer here missed by Narrow, but Mcguire came in untouched and was able to grab the offensive board and then so lose it out of bounds, but off of Utah State. So another possession now for the Broncos. Narrow inbounds to Lavelle, left wing three, I should say, misses, and we got a foul on the board as Abby Muse comes over the back, and it's going to be called for the foul against Chapman. So Aggies will get it back. Utah State struggled early on in the game against Wyoming as well. The second game, they really struggled throughout, but they started out with just a 3-point first quarter. 3 points. They were trailing 17-3 after 10 minutes of basketball. Right now trailing 8-3 after 5 minutes of basketball. So Chapman hands it off to Latone back at the logo, then sets the screen. Latone will give it back. Chapman launches. No good from 3. And the rebound by Narrow. Narrow splits a couple of defenders. Nice pass as she finds Mark. Mark just floats her way in and makes it a 10-3 ball game here about midway through the first. Latone just lost the ball. She tried to split defenders, had it poked loose, and then a jump ball is called for. Narrow was the defender there, able to jar it loose, and that will bring us to immediate timeout. So Utah State with just 3 points through 5.5 minutes as they trail 10-3 here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. All right, welcome on back. A slow start for Utah State as they trail the reigning Mountain West champs 10-3. Boise State up with 4:27 to play here in the first. Apologies for the lack of stats. Our stat system is having issues right now, so I don't have a ton of numbers for you, but Utah State scored on their first possession of the game and has not scored since. So about a 5-minute scoring drought right now for the Aggies. As Megan Mendozona comes off a screen from Chapman, she's going to try and drive, will get down to the block, and then travels. So another Aggie turnover. Utah State has made a couple of substitutions to see if they can get a spark on the offensive end. They've put in Monique Pruitt, whose last game was actually pretty solid. She had 12 points and 5 boards in the first game against Wyoming before being injured in practice. But she's back out there as Boise State fires a ball out of bounds, and it will stay Bronco ball. But then also the freshman Kinley Falslev, who can light it up from deep when she gets going on the court as well. Tough jumper here. Jade Lavelle, just a baseline 15-footer, and she'll knock it down. She had a 40-point game against UNLV the first game of that 2-game series. So we got a foul now. Going to go against Anna Osley. So Aggie ball. But Jade Lavelle, those 40 points that she scored against UNLV, every single one of them came from inside the arc. So she went 19 of 28 in that game. Her mid-range is deadly. And she just showed us why. Driving and having another block. Let's add on to it. This is Lalott blocking Shiloh Latone. This Boise State team, I've mentioned it already, but they are prolific at blocking shots. 6.5 per game. 5th in the nation, and already 3 so far in this game. So it'll be Aggie ball. They'll have 13 seconds on the shot clock once they inbound from the baseline to get things rolling. There is one of the officials is over at the table trying to get an adjustment. I think they set it to 16 and now to 20. So and that's probably should be the case. No, now back down to 13. We just skipped 8 seconds on the shot clock. That was weird. It was at 20, started rolling, and then skipped down to 13. Latone misses a 3 anyway, a few seconds into it, so I guess it won't matter in the end. But Boise State back with it as Utah State comes up scoreless yet again. 12-3, a missed turnaround jumper, but the offensive board and the putback by Mcguire makes it a 15-3 lead. Here's Falslev, blocked again, the 4th block of the game for the Broncos. This time it's Alexis Mark picking up her 13th of the year as Falslev tried to pop from about 15 feet out on the baseline. It looked like she caught it, maybe got a little, thought she had some space that she could take a step up and shoot, but probably should have launched immediately. So the Aggies inbound, backing in, turning around. Monique Pruitt misses her first shot of the game, and the rebound brought down by Lavelle. Here's a quick 3. Mallory Mcguire misses, and the rebound by Pruitt, nearing the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter. Coming off a screen is Falslev. She stops, and defensive foul called. Looked like Falslev may have traveled, but I think she was fouled first. So it's going to go against Anna Osley, the freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona. She picks up her second very quickly and is going to check out of the game. So we still have about 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. It's Falslev with it. She's backing up, guarded by Mark. Another whistle off the ball. From the reaction, I think that's going to be Gill. Who do they call that on? I didn't see. I'm at a really bad angle here on the opposite side of the court to see the official hand signal. As Utah State finally gets their second bucket of the game to make it 14-5. So here's a pass down to the post. Lalott very quickly answers the mark and makes it a 16-5 lead for Boise State. Latone working her way up to the top of the arc. Guarded by Lavelle, swings down left. And it's Mendozona getting it down. Mendozona with a great pass, but the layup is missed by Chapman. Second time she's had a couple of easy points taken away by a mistake. And Boise State makes them pay as Lalott finishes at the rim once again. 18-5, a left wing three missed by Falslev, but the offensive board by Chapman. But then the turnover by Chapman. She threw it low into the legs of Monique Pruitt. It's taken away, and very quickly another bucket on the other end. This time it's Alexis Mark. So Utah State calls a timeout. They have already watched their team give up a 15-point lead at the 1:49 mark of the first. We'll take a quick timeout with them and come back in a moment on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. All right, welcome on back. It's a 20-5 lead for Boise State early on here at the Spectrum. The Aggies have just not found anything on the offensive end as we've got a kicked ball. Emmy Harris bounces it off the foot of Mary Kay Nero. So the Aggies will get it back. The ball rolled way up into the stands as Mendozona goes up to chase it. Looks like we got another ball we can use instead. So the Aggies will get it with 22 on the shot clock. Just 1:41 left to play here in the first. And again, just 5 points for Utah State. Driving and having the shot blocked, but a foul is going to be called by Christina Gill. So 2 shots coming on up for Megan Mendozona. An opportunity for some rare points for Utah State. So the freshman steps up. She's actually been Utah State's best free throw shooter this year at 80%. And first free throw is good. So the Aggies now trail at 20-6. 1:36 to go. Second free throw off the mark. Rebound brought down, though, by Taylor Franson. The offensive board gives Utah State another opportunity. A minute and a half to go here in the first. Driving, Mendozona finishes. Strong move with the righty. And the Aggies bring it back within 12. So 1:18 to play. Here's a pass down to the post and wide open. How did she get that open? Abby Muse lays it up and makes it 22-8. Harris off the screen from Franson. Out to Mendozona. She just scored 3 points on the last trip down the court. Misses this shot. And the rebound ripped down by Lavelle. Chapman tried to come in and poke it loose afterwards, but nice job by Lavelle holding on to possession. She's going to launch a long 2. No good, just inside the line. And Harris brings down the board for Utah State. So 45 seconds to go. Aggies can go 2 for 1 if they get a shot off quickly here. Falslev stops at the left elbow, passes back out. Harris thought about it. Falslev thought about it. So now 12 on the shot clock. Screen set by Franson. Falslev free at the top of the arc. Can't get that one to go, and the rebound by Lavelle once again. So shot clock is turned off. Boise State with the opportunity for the final points should they choose to hold on. Nero gives up to the top of the arc, and here's a turnover. So pass was a little bit low by Lalott. She tried to get it down to her teammate Muse, but Muse just couldn't handle it. So Utah State will get it back with 11.8 on the clock. Mendozona inbounds, and Harris is going to bring it across midcourt. Still plenty of time, 7 seconds. Harris picks up her dribble, off to Chapman. Chapman loses it. It's poked backwards. 2 seconds. Chapman's going to try and drive, try and hooks one up, and it comes up short. So Utah State ends the quarter with a 14-point deficit. It's 22-8 after 10 minutes of basketball, and Utah State struggling to find anything on the offensive end. We'll be back in a moment on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
I'm a guard and I'm a sophomore at Utah State. My favorite thing about being
After one here at the Spectrum, it's 22-8 for Boise State. The Broncos with a strong outing to start things off, and they have the ball to start off the second quarter. Right wing three is no good, but the offensive board deflects back to Alexis Mark, and the Broncos will have another opportunity. And here's an elbow jumper. Might have been blocked just a little bit, but it falls into the arms of Sykes, who steps all the way back out. Misses another shot. This one's airballed, but another opportunity is narrow is there. Here's a long two. Another airball. Sykes. Oh, what a possession. Boise State missed about 4 shots there, and Utah State kept on giving up the offensive board, but it finally was airballed so badly it soared out of bounds. And Utah State will get it back. Speaking of offensive struggles, Utah State has struggled mightily so far in this one. Just 8 points on the offensive end, but how about that cutter? A beautiful pass from Chapman down to a cutting Kinley Falslev. That might be, I think that's Kinley Falslev's first layup of the season. She's hit a lot of shots from outside, but she doesn't get inside very much. Finishes there. Down on the other end, though, it's narrow, launching from 3. She can't hit. The rebound tip from Franson back to Mendozona. Give Aggies the ball back. So 8:50 to go. Here in the first, Mendozona comes off a screen and is fouled. So Gill tried to break through it, and Gill is called for the foul. Her first personal and the first of the quarter for the Broncos. So the lead is 22-10 for Boise State. Aggies trying to get themselves back into this thing. They scored on their last trip down the court. Can they repeat it? Franson off the inbound, passes off to Mendozona, who has a screen set. She'll come off of it. Works right then left, gets down, picks up her dribble, gives it back out to Harris at the top of the arc. 7 seconds as Harris drives, gives it out. Corner 3, Mendozona, good. Nothing but net. We've got a single-digit game once again, 22-13. So Utah State trying to fight back into it. Boise State's offense, though, is not going to make that easy, as we've got a long 2 by Mcguire. If she put her foot about 4 inches further back, that would have been 3 points. But Mcguire puts the Broncos back up by 11. Falslev caught in the corner, takes a step in and shoots from about 15 and gets it to go. So Kinley Falslev with 4 points this quarter. She is certainly capable of exploding for offense. She had a 14-point fourth quarter against Fresno State just a few games back. Lavelle crosses the court as she passes out to Sykes. Now in the post, the ball's given back out. Jumper from about 19 feet out is missed by Lavelle, and Utah State back with it. Falslev passed it down to Franson, and sliding it out of nowhere comes Lavelle to block Franson. Broncos quickly go down to the other end, but Utah State has numbers, so it'll slow them down. They'll slow down for a moment, but then driving into the left-hand finisher by Jade Lavelle. She is on fire. 26-15, now the Bronco lead, and oh my goodness, that is filthy. Megan Mendozona just got straight up clotheslined, sent to the floor. That's not a common foul right there. I know it was. I'm not saying it was intentional, but Mcguire just put the arm out, and that could have been a whole lot more dangerous than it was. Mendozona's still down on the floor. She got absolutely rocked. Yeah, the officials are going to go over to the monitor, and I think that was a little bit more than a common foul. Mendozona does get up and is luckily looks all right. She's walking off the court, but yeah, she just took one right across the face. So the teams have headed back to the huddle as the officials look at the monitor to see how to rule that. I wish I had more stats for you. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's internet connectivity problems or what's going on here, but we have not got any live stat updates. So I don't have much for you other than that it's a 26-15 Boise State lead. Utah State, I think that they started very, very poorly. I mean, they scored 3 points, then went on, I don't know, a 6 or 7 minute scoring drought before they were able to score again. And it seems like they're starting to find a little bit of offensive rhythm here. Now with 15 points. And that's hopeful for Utah State. They had a very similar struggle starting off against Wyoming in the second game. Really started out slowly. That game they never were able to get going, but this is a young Aggie team. It's a team that seems to really go with the momentum of the game. When things are going well, the Aggies are able to keep the momentum rolling, and things are really going well. When things go poorly, it's been really hard for Utah State to react to that adversity. And it seems like they're doing at least a reasonably good job here reacting to the adversity that they saw early on in the game. So the officials come out. They bring both of the head coaches, Kayla Ard and Gordy Presnell, to the center of the court to talk to them about it. Be curious to see how this is ruled. Unfortunately, this year broadcasting from over here on the opposite side of the court, it's really hard to hear or tell what's being said at the scorer's table. So we'll just have to find out when you do. Looks like free throws are going to be on the way. So it was ruled a technical foul, or yeah, I think the PA just said a technical foul on, or an intentional foul on Mallory Mcguire. So we got 2 free throws coming up for Kinley Falslev, and she hits the first, and we'll have 1 more on the way. And then I believe, as she misses the second, I believe Utah State will get the ball back as well. Mcguire's still in the game, and I believe that was only her first foul. So with 7:13 to go, the Aggies now trail it by 10 and have the ball. Megan Mendozona has come out. She is looking a little bit starry-eyed over on the sideline, and hopefully we'll be able to get her back into the game. But she took a shot. Got another foul here. Trying to break through the screen was Alexis Mark, and so she'll pick up a foul. It's the third for Boise State. So 3 fouls through 3 minutes of basketball for the Broncos, and Utah State will inbound once again. The inbound to Chapman. Chapman fires it down low, and the lefty off the glass by Taylor Franson. The Aggies, don't look now, it's an 8-point basketball game. As poorly as they started, Utah State is trying to fight their way back into this thing. Mark out to the left wing, finds Narrow. Narrow to Mcguire. Mcguire passes down to the post. Great catch and pass, but the block by Shiloh Latone. And Boise State regains possession as it goes out of bounds. That's exciting, though. Shiloh Latone with the first block of her career. Standing at all of 5'4", she comes out and swats the 3, and that got the Aggie bench going. The shortest player in the Mountain West Conference. 6 seconds for the Broncos as the pass out to the corner. Finds Osley, and she'll launch and get it to go. So after all that, 3 points are the result of that possession for Boise State. So 6:17 to go. Here is Emmy Harris trying to answer the bell. She had a long 2 opportunity, but comes up just a little bit short. Pass down to the post. Finds Mark. Mark will kick it back out. Mcguire looked like she might shoot for a moment, but instead gives out to Narrow. Backing in goes Mark. She'll turn around. Hooks it up and in. Boise State can score quickly and efficiently. They shoot about just under 50% on the season on 2-point attempts, 46.5%. As we've got a 3-pointer missed by Latone. And unable to gather it in was Osley. She steps out of bounds, and so it's going to stay Aggie ball. But Boise State, so they are, percentage-wise, they're the worst 3-point shooting team in the Mountain West Conference. But again, shooting 46.5% from 2 has actually brought their total shooting percentage all the way up to 4th in the conference. So they do a very, very good job when they get it inside. And really in the mid-range as well. So the Aggies inbound it. It's Kinley Falslev at the top of the arc, passing it out to Latone. She's guarded by Osley, has a screen set, takes a step back, gives it off, and losing the ball down in the post was Hallie Nelson. I think, and she's still down. She looks hurt. I think she thought that she had somebody down there to help her out. She's still laying on the ground, and the officials haven't stopped play. I mean, the officials didn't even know that there was a player laying in the post, and they were about to let Utah State inbound the ball. This looks bad. We're gonna take a break. 5:19 to go here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. All right, welcome back. Hallie Nelson was just helped out of the arena off the court. She went down on the ground. Boise State got a layup on the other end. The officials didn't even see the player down on the ground in the paint, and was about to let Utah State keep playing. As the Aggies have a shot now, Taylor Franson caught the ball off the rebound and put it back up and in to make it a 33-20 game. But Utah State now without their starting forward. We got a quick answer. Mallory Mcguire hits on the other end. Utah State getting awful thin in the post now. They've got Taylor Franson, who's probably going to be putting in a lot of minutes here through the rest of this thing, and not a lot of other true post players on the bench. Franson out to Falslev, who will try the left wing three-pointer. That's no good, and the rebound brought down by Narrow. Narrow gives it out, a long two, missed by Lavelle. That's where she specializes. The offensive board, though, was by Mark, and then a foul as she tried to go back up, goes against Chapman. So 2 free throws coming up for Alexis Mark. And that will bring us to a media timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it here. It's a 36-20 game, and it's going to be 2 free throws coming up for Alexis Mark after this. Utah State, just really unfortunate timing to pick up a couple of injuries. I mean, they seem to be fighting their way back into it. They got the lead cut down to 8. Megan Mendozona went down on a very, very hard clothesline foul. Might have hit her head, and I don't know if she'll be back. We'll see. And then they lose their starting forward in Hallie Nelson, who was, I don't know, I'm not going to try and play doctor. She was holding her right knee as she went out, or I'm sorry, her left knee as she went out, and she was not putting any weight on it, had to be helped off the court. So now Utah State, who already started the game with 3 players out, 3 players who were regular starters for the Aggies out, have now lost another starter and another starter. And such is the 2020-2021 college basketball season, I guess. So a 16-point Bronco lead. We still don't have any updated live stats for you, as much as I'd love to go over those. But Boise State, I mean, credit to them. I'm not trying to take anything away from what the Broncos have done. They've come out and they've played excellent basketball. Jade Lavelle's been near unstoppable. Mallory Mcguire has done what she has done for 4 years of her playing career, and that is dominate. And a shorthanded Utah State team is just trying everything they can to see if they can't hang with the reigning champs. But there's a reason Boise State wins a whole lot of basketball games. It's because they're incredibly well coached, and they have a whole lot of talent on their team. Coach Gordy Presnell actually just won his 700th career game in the first game against UNLV. 701 and 315 in 33 years of coaching basketball. That is just remarkable. So free throws coming up. Alexis Mark hits her first, and she'll have one more on the way. Her second one is good as well. So the freshman from Chatsworth, California, makes it a 38-20 lead as a little baseline jumper is missed by Taylor Franson. So Osley has it. Osley gives it out and now has it in the corner once again with 22 on the shot clock. She'll pass out to the left wing as Lavelle tries to give it to the post. There's a scramble for it. Pass to Mcguire was tipped loose, and a jump ball is called for as Osley goes to the ground fighting against Harris. It will go to Utah State on the possession arrow. So Aggies with a stop on that trip, and they'll get it back with 3:57 left in the first half. pass is taken away. Emmy Harris tried to pass to the top of the arc, and standing there waiting for it was Mallory Mcguire. But a turnover is gifted to him on the other end as a pass went down low, found Alexis Marks. She took an extra step with it, and well, she kind of lost the ball, gathered it back in, but they're going to call the carry. So back-to-back turnovers in this game, and now the Aggies will get it back, trailing by 18. Utah State trying to see if they can't put together a few strings of points here before the halftime break, but we've got an airballed 3 by Latone, who put a little bit too much on it. And Mcguire was just standing there waiting for the board to fall into her arms. Lavelle splits a couple defenders. Lavelle with the lefty floats it up. Can't hit from about 12, and then a foul called on the rebound. I think they got Mark with that one. No, Lavelle with that one. So that is the 4th team foul for Boise State. Every defensive foul they pick up from here on out will result in free throws for Utah State. So 38-20 still our score. Aggies have had a couple of opportunities to cut into this lead, but haven't been able to do so in recent possessions. Pass down low finds Chapman. Chapman will give it out, and Franson hits from about 15 on the baseline. So the Aggies finally get back on the board, and can the Broncos answer? A left wing 3 is missed by Osley. So the answer is no. Utah State now trailing 38-22. Coming off a screen, fighting through the screen. That's going to be a foul on Alexis Mark. We've seen a lot of those here so far this evening with the Broncos, trying to fight through screens and then extending the arm, and that just makes it an easy call for the official when they see that arm poke through. So Alexis Mark picks up a foul, and she's going to check out. And because that's team foul number 5 for Boise State, it's going to be 2 free throws coming up for Jessica Chapman for the Aggies. Chapman, in 2 of the last 3 games, has had 20-plus point outings as she hits the first free throw, and we'll have 1 more on the way. Chapman, before this season, through her entire career, had just 1 20-plus point outing, and has become Utah State's leading scorer this year. She hits them both. The graduate forward, she's averaging 11.5 points, 7.5 boards per contest, and leads Utah State in both those categories. So now Boise State with it, down low. A shot and a layup is good by Lilati Lalott, the freshman forward, standing at 6'3", gets that to fall, and with 2:15 to go, Utah State trails by 16. The ball's deflected into the backcourt. Aggie should be able to pick that up, right? I thought that was off the. Maybe I saw that wrong. I thought that went off the leg of a Bronco player, but perhaps not. Let's see the replay here. Oh, it was off Latone's foot. Okay, so the angle was deceiving, but Shiloh Latone lost it into the backcourt and then went to retrieve it, and so a backcourt violation is the correct call there. For Boise State, here's a 18-footer, and that is nothing but net. Jade Lavelle has become something special for Boise State this season. Averaged 8 points per game last year, 16.5 this year. Here's a free throw line jumper. That's good by Emmy Harris to make the score 42-26. 1:42 to go till halftime. Narrow drifts out right. Hands it off on the right wing to Lavelle. Lavelle floats one into the post. And then the pass is given out by Muse out to the left wing. Osley open for 3, but can't hit. The offensive board and the putback and the foul. Narrow had nobody marking her as she went up to grab the board, and then just got a little push in the back by Kinley Falsleb. So an and 1 opportunity now for the freshman. She's going to step on up for a couple of shots. I said earlier that I think Alexis Mark may have a chance at Freshman of the Year, but one of her biggest competitors might be Mary Kay Narrow, the freshman from Beaverton, who averages 4.5 assists per game, along with a little touch over 5 points and 3 rebounds per game. So some really talented freshmen here at Boise State. Now there's some pretty good freshmen elsewhere in the league that might give them a little bit of a run, but 2 really solid candidates here for that award. The free throw is good by Narrow, and that makes it a 45-26 game as she completes the and 1. Got a minute 20 till halftime. A handoff on the right wing to Falslev, and she tries to pass it down, but intercepting it comes Narrow. as she tried to get it to Latone. Narrow with her 20th still of the season, and then a missed layup for the Broncos. Aggies try to get quickly to the other end, and the ball's lost out of bounds by Latone, so another turnover by Utah State. And with a minute left to go, it is a 19-point Bronco lead here in the first half. Muse, standing at 6'2", hands it off to Narrow. I guess I shouldn't leave Abby Muse out of the Freshman of the Year conversation either. I mean, a lot of options here on Boise State's team. They've got 3 freshmen who have started a significant amount of games. Ball's lost out of bounds, though, and a turnover by Boise State will go back to the Aggies. So with 32 seconds to go, there's about 6 seconds maybe between shot and game clock right now. Backing in goes Chapman. She got her defender up in the air and comes up and under. A nifty move there, working against the freshman Muse. And that makes it 45-28. 15 seconds to go. Narrow going to let this clock bleed down just a little bit. It hits 8. Works right then left. Draws the double, passes out, pass to the post, and Prancing going to be called for the foul. She came in and got a piece of Muse. And luckily Utah State has a couple of fouls to give. Luckily for the Aggies, I should say. So that was only team foul number 3. And honestly, you might foul again here. 3.7 seconds to go if they get it to an open player. The inbound goes into the left wing. Sykes gives it back out. I think Aggies might have tried to foul, but weren't able to, and then a jumper is missed by Sykes at the buzzer, and that's how the first half concludes. So 45-28 after 20 minutes of basketball, 20 minutes left to play. You're listening to Utah State Women's Hoops on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College. Halftime here in Logan. It's 45-28 after 2 quarters. Boise State leading the way here at the Spectrum. Story of the game so far, at least on the Utah State side. And again, I don't want to take anything away. Boise State has played excellent basketball. They have 45 points in a couple of halves. They have been nearly flawless. They're shooting the ball incredibly well. An excellent game so far for Boise State. The story for Utah State has been injuries. They came in with 3 injured starters. They've lost 2 more players since. So they already had a pretty short rotation, and 5 contributors are out. So now Utah State is down to essentially 8 players. And a few of those who have played very, very, very few minutes this season. So Utah State is in a little bit of a pinch here. We do have, I was able to get some updated stats at halftime. Our live stat system is still down. I don't entirely know the issue, but I was able to get some printed out here at halftime. The biggest thing that jumps off the page, 10 assists from Mary Kay Narrow, the freshman with 10 assists at halftime. That is unbelievable. She had 11 assists in the first game against UNLV. That was a career high. And so now she's just sitting one off of that. Just an unbelievable performance for Boise State in that first half, and specifically for Narrow. They were led in points, 12 points by Alexis Mark. Utah State had 6 different players score, and each of them scored either 5 or 6 points. Chapman, Mendozona, and Franson each had 6, and then 5 apiece for Harris and for Falslip. I guess I miscounted, only 5 players scored. But Utah State, they started out really, really poorly. They were outscored 22-8 in the first quarter. The second quarter was much more even. It was 23-20 in Boise State's favor. So still sitting with a pretty solid deficit, but most of this deficit for Utah State came in the first quarter, and then they were just unable to make up any ground in the second, despite playing much better. 20 minutes of basketball left, though, and Utah State does have a little bit of momentum on their side after a pretty solid offensive quarter. Boise State, though, doesn't seem to be they sure don't seem like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon. The ball's into play as Boise State starts out with it, and immediately a foul. Just 8 seconds into the quarter is going to go against the Aggies. It'll be 2 free throws coming up for Jade Lavelle, who in that first half, she had 8 points along with 6 boards, 4 of 10 from the field. And the free throw is good. That's her first of the game. She'll have one more on the way. In the first half, Boise State shot 46.5% from the field. Utah State at just about 31%. 2 for 2 goes Lavelle, and it's 47-28. Aggies now with their first possession of the half. Starting the half in place of the two Aggies who were injured in the first half, those being Megan Mendozona and Hallie Nelson, as long two is missed by Latone. Starting in their place is Kinley Falslev and Taylor Franson for the second half. So, Bronco ball. It's Lavelle once again. Lavelle launches a long two and gets it to fall. She is so good in the mid-range. As the Aggies turn it over once again, Latone tried to float a pass down into the post, and it was just picked off by Muse. So now 9:06 to go, and we've got a missed jumper here, or a missed layup here, but the offensive board and the putback is good by Muse. To the front court we go, and Utah State quickly calls a timeout. Coach Ard not happy about the way that her team has started out this second half, and so she'll call the squad in to regroup. We'll keep it here as we're just about a minute into this half. Maybe we could take a look at a couple more of the first half stats for each of these squads. The other thing, I mentioned obviously the 10 assists for Mary Kay Darrow jumps off the page big time, but other than that, the other number that that really tells the story of the game, I think, is 28 points in the paint for Boise State. 28 of their 45 points came in the paint, while Utah State had just 12. So the Broncos have done just an excellent job getting it down to their big forwards, getting it down into the post and feasting. Mallory Mcguire, the center, had 9 points. Alexis Mark, the forward, had 12 points. So they're just doing a really nice job in that regard. And then every time that they're not getting it into the post, it's oftentimes Lavelle floating it up from the mid-range. And that's been Boise State's recipe this year, and it's worked incredibly well. And it's working quite well tonight. A 23-point lead already for the Broncos. So Utah State will have the ball after the timeout was taken by Coach Ard. Kayla Ard, the first-year head coach of the Aggies. She's a first-year head coach going up against a 33rd-year head coach on the Bronco bench, Coach Gordy Presnell. Looks like we're about ready to get back underway. So Aggies yet to score here in this quarter. They have the ball as the inbound goes to Chapman, who will hand it back out to Emmy Harris. So Chapman and then Harris once again. She's going to try a long three, and that's nothing but net. That was about a foot or two behind the men's three-point line, but no worries for the lone Aggie senior, Emmy Harris. Mark gives it up, and at the top of the arc, it's narrow out to the corner, and then into the post we go. A pump fake by Osley. 10 on the shot clock now for Boise State. Pass to the post finds Muse. She'll turn around. She's guarded by Franson. Nice Aggie defense. Passes it out. Driving goes narrow. Gives it out to the corner. Three-pointer off the mark. As Osley couldn't find it, Franson brought down the board. 2-on-1. Aggies go. Left wing, left side of the glass is good for Shiloh Latone and the Aggies. Get some points. It's 51-33. Narrow. Up to Osley, now pass to the post. Finds Mcguire. Mcguire got doubled, and so she says, I'll just hand it off to Muse. Muse had an open look, but couldn't get it to fall. Rebound brought down by Franson. Here's a three-pointer. Falslev was feeling it, but couldn't get it to go. And the rebound and then the foul. Osley brought it down, and then Chapman came in. A little bit of a frustration foul, I think, there. Sure felt like that Falslev three-pointer was going to fall. She stepped up with some confidence. So 7:35 left in the third. Narrow brings it down the court. Trying to continue an excellent evening. She gives it to the corner to Osley. Into the post we go, and there's a foul on Falslev. Falslev is down in the post trying to guard the 6'3" Elodie Lalat, and that's just kind of the story of the game right now for Utah State. That they're in a position where they've got to have Kinley Falslev down playing some post basketball. So 2 shots coming up for Lalat. She's a 56% free throw shooter and misses the first. Averages about 4 points and 4 rebounds per game. Second one is good. So 1 for 2 on that trip. It's 52-33. Harris over to the corner. She launches one up to Latone. Now left wing 3. Good by Jessica Chapman. Chapman really struggled through the start of conference play to find anything outside the arc. She missed something like 20-plus three-pointers in a row, but started to get things going against Wyoming. Had three-pointers in the first half of that game and seems to be continuing that here as Lalat answers the call and gets a couple of points down on the other end. But here's Chapman fouled from the free throw line. Foul called on marked, and 2 free throws coming up for Jessica Chapman. So Chapman leading all Aggie scorers now with 9. She has an opportunity with a couple of shots at the line to break into double figures. Chapman, the only graduate transfer that Utah State has ever brought in its program's history. She's played 4 years college ball at played at BYU, went to Southern Utah, and now makes her way up north to Utah State. She misses the first free throw, 1 more coming up. But what a good player she's been for the Aggies. What a great addition. 11.5 points, 7.5 rebounds per game. She's kind of done it all for the Aggies. She goes 0 for 2 there. So it's 54-36 still. Here's a 3-pointer. Mcguire airballs it out of bounds, and it will go back to the Aggies. So Monique Pruitt's going to come in for Utah State. She'll take the place of Taylor Franson. So a pretty small lineup on the court right now for Utah State. I mean, the tallest player is Jessica Chapman, who's 6 foot, and then beyond that, Monique Pruitt, who's 5'9", who's going to be probably playing a little bit here in the post. Here goes Latone. Latone tries to put it up with the righty, but it's blocked out of bounds by Lavelle. So the Aggies will keep it. 12 on the shot clock. Inbound goes to Chapman. Chapman out to the right wing. Finds Harris and sets the screen. Harris for 3. Harris airballed it, and it goes out of bounds. So 6:09 to go, and the Broncos will get it back, leading 54-36. Aggies on a 9-game losing streak right now. Jumper, mid-range, and you guessed it, Jade Lavelle once again getting it to fall for Boise State. I thought we had a foul, but they're going to call the ball out of bounds as it was caught in midair by Pruitt. There's contact, but the officials say maybe not enough, or maybe not initiated by Boise State. So ball goes back to the Broncos at 56-36, a 20-point lead. Coming off a screen is Narrow. She's going to drive. Narrow goes up and is blocked by Monique Pruitt. So Pruitt picks up her 7th block of the year. Narrow inbounds, and the Broncos now have 18 seconds to go in the shot clock. Pass to the post, it's taken away, and that is going to be Monique Pruitt once again, going all the way to the other end and scooping it up, but missing is Latone. The offensive board by Chapman. It's lost out of bounds and will stay Aggie ball. So Pruitt picks up a block and then picks up a steal. Latone couldn't quite finish on the other end, but Aggies have another opportunity for it. Falslev to inbound with 19. She gets it in. And Utah State has it back near the logo with Emmy Harris in control of it. Screen set by Pruitt. Harris dishes it off. On the left wing, Chapman has it. 7 seconds on the shot clock as it ticks down. Here's Harris. Harris going to drive. Harris going to dump it off, and Monique Pruitt off the glass. She's had 3 really solid plays in a row, and it's 56-38. Halfway through the third, down into the post, Mallory Mcguire. Oh, she is so good. She catches the ball, makes a little move, then it gets open for the layup. Monique Pruitt hits the floor hard, but hops right back up. Trying to kick it out to the corner was Emmy Harris. She had Latone open in the corner, but she hits the bottom of the basketball stand. So it's going to go out of bounds, and will go down as a Utah State turnover. Looks like Franson going to be checking back in here for Utah State. That should be immediate timeout. It is, and the officials finally realize it. 4:45 to go, and team's going to head back to the bench. It's a 20-point game here in Logan on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Midway through the third quarter, here at the Spectrum, it's a 20-point ball game. 58-38, Boise State leading it. And the Broncos with possession as we get back into play. Very quickly, baseline jumper is off the mark by Lola, and the rebound brought down by Chapman. So Utah State seeing if they can't strike first out of the timeout. Driving goes Harris, kicking it out. Right wing 3. Good by Falslev. That's her spot. She loves shooting from that side of the court. And makes that one look effortless. 4:13 to play in the third. Pass to Mcguire. She catches on the elbow and is fouled by Franson. So Franson picks up her second, and that's already Utah State's 4th team foul with still 4 minutes left in the quarter. So the Broncos inbound. They go right into Mcguire. Mcguire at 6'5", just turns around and makes it look so easy as she kind of hooks that one up and in. And the Broncos lead at 60-41. Blocked by Mcguire as Emmy Harris falls to the floor. She tried to get into the post and has it swatted. Boise State, one of the best teams in the nation at blocking, but Utah State gives them a taste of their own medicine. Taylor Franson swoops in and knocks the ball loose on a block of her own, and then we got a foul called on Mcguire down on the other end. She gets a piece of Emmy Harris, and so there's her second and the second for the Broncos as well. So the shot clock at 24, it didn't take much time off to get to that foul, and the game clock at 3:41. Harris scanning her options and goes into Taylor Franson. Left wing 3. Chapman, good. Back-to-back threes for the Aggies. Jessica Chapman trying to see if she can't get Utah State rolling again. It's 60-44. Aggie offense started out really slow, has picked up some momentum. A left wing 3 is missed by Boise State, but no box out, and Gill will grab her own board. Opposite side, a shot is there for Lavelle. I think that was a 2. But a long 2 at that. So 62-44. Hand off by Franson. Out to Pruitt. Pruitt will drive, and Pruitt's fouled on the ground. So Boise State very quickly picks up a couple of fouls. That's their third now of the quarter. Lot's going to check out, and Utah State set to inbound with 20 on the clock. Falslev in straight away to Pruitt, who's open, but misses on the 18-footer. And the rebound good. The rebound brought down by Mark. So on the left wing, it's gathered in by Mcguire. She'll give it up to Narrow. Narrow drives, gives it out. Now on the baseline, Boise State with it. Pass down to the post, and a foul is called. That's going to be free throws on the way for the Broncos. It's Utah State in the penalty. Mcguire got fouled by Franson on a inlet pass. So 2 shots coming up for Mcguire. A 72% free throw shooter on the season. Boise State sends Osley back into the game. Looks like they might be sending Muse in after the free throws as well. On the court for Utah State, it's Chapman, Harris, Pruitt, Franson, and Falslev. Free throw is no good on the front end by Mcguire. She'll have one more on the way, though. Mcguire had a big 19-point, 20-rebound game in Game 2 against UNLV. Goes 0 for 2 on that trip. A couple of rare misses for Mcguire. Aggies bring down the board, and Harris tries to drive all the way to the other end. Kind of got stuck, got her feet up in the air, tried to pass it out, and it's taken away. Lavelle with the steal, and Lavelle with the finish on the other end after a missed shot by Gill. Lavelle was there to grab it and tip it up and in. So it's 64-44, 20-point lead once again. Here's Harris kicking it out to the corner, catch and shoot. Falslev, good. Kinley Falslev starting to get things rolling here. And with 2:02 to go, the Broncos have it. It's stolen away nearly by Emmy Harris. She reached in, tipped a pass from Osley. It hit the sideline, though, before she was able to gather it in. Looked like it could have been a forced turnover by the Utah State, but they just couldn't quite get there. Emily Gerald's checked into the game for the first time as Chapman checks out, so the Aggies going a little bit deeper in the bench. Gerald, the freshman, as she's made appearances in 5 games this year, averages about 4 minutes per contest. Got a little bit more run against Wyoming. She started the season injured, to be fair, and hasn't been totally healthy for much of the year, but Utah State just doesn't have much post depth right now after losing Hallie Nelson to injury. The officials are over on the scores table trying to figure out, I believe, where the shot clock should be at. It sits at 30, but it shouldn't, because Boise State had brought the ball down. It was tipped out of bounds by Utah State, so it was erroneously reset back up to 30. Should probably be around 20 or something like that. So the officials trying to sort that out. 1:59 on the game clock, and it's 64-47 for Boise State. You know, the one thing you got to give Utah State credit for is they started this game poorly. They were outscored 22-8 in the first quarter. Remember, they scored 3 points right off the get-go, went about 6.5 minutes without scoring another point, and things just looked grim. But the Aggies have, I mean, I know they trailed by 17 points, but they've stayed fighting, and despite being shorthanded and playing a pretty solid Boise State team, they haven't given up. They haven't gone anywhere quietly. Jumper from the baseline is good by Lavelle, who grabs a couple more points for the Broncos. It's 66-47 now for Boise State. Another turnover by the Aggies, though, as Emmy Harris tried to get it to a cutting Franson, and it's taken away, and down on the other end. Very quick points by Alexis Mark. And Boise State cashes in 4 quick points to make it a 21-point lead. Minute 24 left in the third. Here goes Harris, crossover. Harris gets up, puts the lefty off the glass. It rolled around for just a moment on the rim and then fell. The shot was in doubt for a moment, but goes, and then turnover down on the other end. The pass was fired down to the post and straight through the hands of Alexis Mark. A little bit too much grease on that one. Utah State will get it back with 1:10 to go in the third. So Harris kind of playing the point guard right now for Utah State. They came into this game without a true point guard healthy on the roster. Harris drives, Harris stops, gives it out, right wing three, Falslev, nothing but net. I don't know what it is about that spot. Falslev could just stand there all day and launch threes and never miss one, it feels like, and she's given Utah State just a little bit of life. It's 68-52. Pass out to the right wing, Sykes has it, and she gives it up to Osley. So in the post, here go the Broncos. Muse tries to go up. Nice defense down low by Gerald, but the board is grabbed, and Mark tries to go back up and finishes off the right side of the glass to make it 70-52. So the shot clock is turned off. Aggies can hold this for the final shot of the quarter, and it looks like that's what they intend to do, as Emmy Harris Still possession of it, waits till about 8 on the shot clock, then moves. She drifts right, tries to drive, scoops it up off the glass, and Harris gets it to fall. 2 seconds to go. Broncos across midcourt. Osley launches, and it goes into about the 8th row of the stands after a high bounce, and Utah State will head into the 4th quarter trailing by 16. It's 70-54 after 3 here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. All right, 3 quarters down, 1 left to go between Utah State and Boise State. Aggie ball as we get the 4th quarter underway. Utah State trailing 70-54. Utah State actually won the 3rd quarter 26-25. Made up just a little bit of ground, and very quickly we got Monique Pruitt driving, and Monique Pruitt drawing an and one with a strong move to the basket. So Pruitt, an opportunity for the and one. She's got now 4 points on the evening. An opportunity for 1 more. So Boise State has stayed consistently scoring the ball. Monique Pruitt misses. They scored 22 points in the first, 23 in the second, 25 in the third. But Utah State finally figuring things out on the offensive end, at least enough to keep somewhat of a pace with them. Just unable to make up the ground they need to. So top of the arc, a 3-pointer is missed now by the Broncos, but the offensive board chased out to the corner. It's brought down by Mcguire, but now we got a takeaway. As Jocelyn Plansky will pick up her first steal of the year. She's checked in for the first time of the game. Her 4th appearance this season for the Aggies. Gerald has it on the left wing. She'll give it out to Plansky, who comes off a screen. Plansky with 14 on the shot clock, passes it up, finds Chapman. Handoff to Pruitt. Pruitt's going to try and drive, puts her elbow in, gets to the free throw line, then floats it out of bounds on the miss. Looks like Shiloh Latone coming in place of Plansky, so she came in for just about a minute or so. Got a steal, and she'll head back to the bench. Utah State very, very short-handed right now. On the right wing is Lavelle. Passing it out to Narrow. Drives, has it stolen again. Utah State with back-to-back steals, but then another turnover as the ball's passed into the front court. Harris comes in to try and force the jump. What's the call? Do they call a jump or a foul? I never saw a jump signal. Boise State called a timeout. Okay, so I didn't see the timeout signaled for either. The officials just kind of stood around looking, trying to figure out what happened as they stared at each other, but eventually they're going to say that was Boise State called a timeout after getting to the ground with it. So with 8:42 to go, they head back to the benches. It's a 70-56 Bronco lead, and they will have the ball out of the timeout. Through 3 quarters, again, apologies for the lack of live stats, but through 3 quarters, Boise State was shooting at 48.5%, 31 of 64 from the field, despite just 2 of 16 shooting from outside. While Utah State shooting 40%, 21 of 53. So, I mean, a pretty good shooting game for the Aggies. Not a bad shooting game. I mean, really good shooting game for Boise State. And you just have to think what this game would be had Utah State not started out so slow. They were outscored again 22-8 in that first quarter. And right now sitting with a 14-point basketball game. So had Utah State come out with just a little more energy out of the gates, you have to think they'd be right here in it. It's really been a pretty solid basketball game for the last two and a half quarters. As we got just under 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter of this one. Leading scores so far in this one, Jade Lavelle has 20 points, 16 for Alexis Mark and 13 for Mallory Mcguire, and 13 assists for Mary Kay Narrow. For Utah State, different players in double figures as Kinley Folsom actually leads the way right now. 14 points for the freshman. So this is, she's tied her career high with still 8.5 minutes to go. 12 points for Emmy Harris and 12 points for Jessica Chapman. So Bronco ball, we get back into play after the timeout. And on the left wing, it's Sykes. Sykes tries to pass to the corner and a turnover. Aggies grab the steal. Shiloh Latone's there to take it away. And Utah State can make up some more ground. Here's a 3-pointer, but that won't do it as Chapman came up about a couple feet short of the rim there. Aggies had momentum. So Kinley Falsliff comes back into the game. As Emily Gerald's going to get a rest. Aggies go smaller, even smaller than they already had. The 8:15 mark. It's a three-pointer from the top of the arc. That won't go by Mcguire. Boise State continues to struggle from outside the arc. Pruitt's going to try and capitalize. Pruitt does, and one. Holy cow, Monique Pruitt. That's the second time we've seen her just muscle her way inside. Scoop it up with the right hand and draw the contact. So Pruitt's going to the line, as she can make this an 11-point ball game with still over 8 minutes to go. Utah State is down but not out. Down 5 players, but still putting in the work, and the free throw is good by Pruitt. So 70-59 is our score. Narrow passes out to Lavelle, then back up to Narrow. She's going to drive, splits a couple defenders, puts one up. That's no good on the floater. Rebound tipped out, and that's not against Chapman. She tried to poke the ball out to her teammate. I guess they thought that she had enough to justify that as a foul, but it will keep it Bronco ball. Utah State's first foul of the quarter, though. The inbound goes in, a long two by Mcguire, nothing but net. So a pretty big swing there on the call, and it's 72-59 now. Pruitt drives, she goes left this time. Pruitt again, and one for the third time of the game, and she did it on the last possession. She does it again now. Drives up the opposite side, tries to scoop it up, gets it to fall. I don't know how, just a circus shot there. Oh my gosh, I'm watching the replay. She went under 2 different players' arms. She wasn't even looking at the basket, and it went anyway, and now she's got a free throw coming on up. Have yourself a quarter, Monique Pruitt. Free throw's no good, but the rebound, 5-4 Chapman trying to get in there, can't quite get there, as it's eventually ripped down by Lalop. But on the board, it's 72-61. Broncos with it. Mcguire out to the corner. Now on the left wing, it's Narrow. She's got 13 assists in this ball game, a career high. She passes it. Mcguire tries to give her another, but can't. Mcguire misses from 15. Rebound tip long. Chapman throws it off Mcguire, and it will stay. It'll go back to Utah State. That is an excellent play by the graduate forward, showing her veteran smarts there. She chases it out of bounds. Very easily could have tried to throw it back to a teammate, and maybe it would have gotten there, but instead decides to throw it off the leg of Mcguire. And that battle between those two has been pretty fun to watch. A couple of fifth-year seniors. So 72-61, Aggies with the ball. Trailing by 11, Chapman drives. Chapman gets up, draws the foul. No, an offensive foul called for. Okay. So Osley able to draw the charge, and they'll go back to the Broncos. You see the replay here. Not a great angle on the replay, hard to tell, but that's a big swing. As Boise State gets it back. Here's a pass to the post. Going up, strong, but a little bit too strong is Lalott, and then Chapman brings down the board. Is fouled. It is getting chippy in here. That's the third foul for Boise State in the quarter with still 6:45 to go. Aggies have been able to string together some nice stops. They've held Boise State to just 2 points through 3 minutes and 15 seconds here in this quarter. But can they cut into this lead even further? Mallory Mcguire is going to check out now. She's got, let's see. I think that was her 4th foul. Pruitt nearly loses it off her foot, but then chases it back towards the midcourt line. And Utah State with 6.5 minutes to go. Here's Emmy Harris. Harris going to drive. Harris got a nice little move. Passes out. Latone from the 3-point line. No good. And the rebound ripped down by Lalott. A good look for a good shooter in Latone. Pass to the post. It's nearly taken away. It is taken away. Caught down low. Lalott was there. I'm sorry, Mark was there, but then Emmy Harris, a little bit of craftsmanship, knocks it off of her and out of bounds, so Utah State going to get it back. Emmy Harris is calling for her teammate to come back. She was the only player in the backcourt. Says somebody's got to be here for me to inbound it to, so Latone comes back to help out. So Latone started the game playing point guard. Looks like they're kind of leaning more towards having Emmy Harris play point guard right now without a true point guard healthy. Going in, Pruitt, offensive foul. She tried to see if she couldn't get down to the post, draw contact once again, and that's probably a good call there. As she just, nice job by Alexis Mark, a freshman making a big, a smart defensive play, I should say. So still 72-61. Aggies got into the lead just a little bit, have been unable to bring it back to single digits though. In the post, backing in, that's an offensive foul too. So this time it'll go against Lalott. These teams are just they're playing chess out there right now. And this has actually been a pretty fun quarter to watch so far. So with 5:47 to go, Aggies trailing by 11. Harris gives it to Latone. Screen set by Franson, passes it out. Three-pointer. Pruitt, good! Monique Pruitt single-handedly giving Utah State some life right now. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe not single-handedly, but she is doing her part. 72-64. It's an 8-point ball game now. Narrow passes it out. Osley, big shot there for the freshman. As she catches it, had a hand in the face, but knocks it down anyway from outside the arc. Just the third three-pointer of the game for Boise State. Here's Harris trying the long two, can't get it to fall, and keeping it in bounds goes Lavelle. Good hustle play for Boise State. Broncos lead it again by 11. Catching it in the left wing is Osley. She just made one from there. Doesn't get it this time, but the offensive board is straight to Lavelle. And now Boise State with another opportunity. Narrow gives it down to the free throw line and a foul called. Latone came in, got a piece of Mark. How about Monique Pruitt? She came into the fourth quarter with 2 points. Has 10 this quarter. And she is just balling. Mallory Mcguire comes back into the game. Has to be careful. She's got 4 fouls. And Boise State already with 5 with 4:40 to go. Utah State already with 4. So Broncos inbound it. They'll have 20 on the shot clock as Sykes gives it down to the post. McGuire goes up and is fouled. That's tough. You can't do that if you're Monique Pruitt. She's had a great quarter, but she just reaches over and a little bit too obvious there. So 2 shots coming up for McGuire. Sorry, 1 shot coming up from McGuire. She already hit the shot, so the and one, but she can't make that. So it's 72-64. Aggies with it now. 4.5 minutes to go. Their time starting to run low as they try to make a comeback. Latone drifts out to the corner and gives it up to Pruitt. Franson at the top of the arc. Looks for a place to give it and finally has Latone on the left wing. Latone will come off a screen. She'll drive. Tries to scoop it off the glass, just a little too high there, and the rebound brought down by Narrow. So Boise State doing a nice job. They saw Utah State claw into the lead quite a bit. Now they're putting the foot down, a right wing 3, and that's nothing but net. Anna Osley with 2 enormous three-pointers in this quarter. Boise State entered the quarter shooting 2 of 16 from 3, and Osley has done just about everything she can to keep Boise State in control. All right, 3:54 to go. It's 80-64, and we'll be back in a moment with the rest here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. You're listening to Utah State Women's Hoops on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Boise State got out to a controlling lead, but a couple of big three-pointers by Anna Osley have made life tough for Utah State. It's an 80-64 game right now. Aggies do have the ball. Still a bit of time left. Driving goes Chapman. Chapman dumps it down to the post to Gerald, and Emily Gerald, the freshman, going to the free throw line on another and one opportunity. How about that pass from Chapman? Kind of almost a no-looker behind her to the perfect spot for Gerald, who goes up strong, and Emily Gerald steps up to the line. The Free throw is good. That was just her second trip to the line this season. She's now 2 of 3 from that spot this year. So 80-67. This thing's still not over. Utah State might have one more little push in them. Pass out to the corner. Osley again. Osley again. What a performance for her. The freshman this quarter hitting 3 three-pointers. She's a 26% three-point shooter, but she has got a little bit of ice in her veins. And Utah State's comeback attempt has been made a little bit tougher by the freshman. Here's a three-pointer off the mark by Lutone, and with 3 minutes to go, just over 3 minutes to go, Boise State might have control of this thing. It's 83-67. Osley on that left side again. This time she'll pass off to Narrow. Pass to the post. Mark gathers it in, gives it up. Three-pointer, top of the arc. That is no good by Mcguire. Lutone grabs the board. Lutone's going to try and go quickly into the front court. Passes it out. And now Utah State will slow it down. Harris comes off the screen from Chapman. Goes left and right, gets to the free throw line. Gives it back out. Tried to find Lutone, and what a steal there by Sykes. And that might just about do it. Still got 2:24 to go. The one thing you can't say about Utah State is that they went away quietly and gave up in this one. They've fighting tooth and nail right to the end. A slow start. They were unable to climb back into it. But then on the flip side, for Boise State, I mean, they're playing. This is a team that has 10 freshmen, and they played like a veteran team. As the ball is floated out of bounds by Alexis Mark. We'll go back to Utah State. Broncos going to make a handful of subs now, it looks like, with a 83-67 lead. Going to go to the bench. So 2 minutes left to go. Harris out to the right, gives it off to Pruitt. Pruitt's going to try and drive, goes up, has it blocked by Muse. And then out of bounds off the Aggies. So Muse gets the block and gets the ball back. Broncos going to take a timeout simply for the purpose of advancing the ball and making a sub. Oh no, there was a foul called. My apologies, I just simply didn't see that. Utah State had a foul called against them on the rebound, and because of a bonus situation, we got 2 free throws coming up for Abby Muse. So the first shot is good, and Muse will have one more on the way with an 84-67 lead. A minute 54 to play. Second one, it's good. So the freshman knocks them both down. Here's Harris for Utah State. This thing all but over. Utah State just trying to see if they can't finish this thing out strong before they play again on Saturday. Working the baseline and getting the layup is Emmy Harris. 85-69 our score, a minute and a half to go. So Muse hands it off at the top of the arc out to Christina Gill. This freshman from Spain gets out to the elbow, and then wide open in the post is Muse for the lay-in off the left side of the glass. Aggies got the lead down to single digits, all the way down to 8 at one point this quarter, but Boise State has inflated it all the way back up to 18. Just a strong effort by Boise State to close this game out. We've now got a foul off the ball against Utah State. Who'd they get for this one? They got Monique Pruitt, it looks like, and that's going to be 2 more free throws. No, that's not two more free throws. That's I thought Utah State's in the bonus, but they're not going to give them the shots. Not entirely sure why. Last time that happened, they got free throws. I don't know what the difference was. Sykes now for the Broncos with 46 seconds. There's a foul, this time an offensive foul. Oh, Boise State, it's going to go against Lola. So the Aggies get it back, 46.5 seconds left in the contest. Narrow comes back into the game for the Broncos. Harris across midcourt. Passes it out. Chapman lost it for a moment, but gives it back out to Harris. Screen set by Chapman. Harris comes off of it, drives out. Left wing three, false lev. Not good. And the rebound brought down by Muse. Shot clock is turned off. Aggie's going to call off the Dogs. Boise State probably going to do the same, as they can just run this thing all the way down to the very end. Maybe not. 13 seconds to go. 87-69. Looks like it may be our final. Boise State going to move to 11-7 on the year. 8-7 in conference play. Aggies' losing streak extends to 10. They're now 4-14, 2-11 in conference play. But you know, if you're Utah State, 69 points after two really disastrous offensive games against Wyoming, your two lowest scoring games of the season. You come out, you nearly get 70 against a very good Boise State defense. A Boise State defense that's, in fact, first in the Mountain West Conference in field goal percentage defensively. I think that there's some pretty good positives for Utah State. They're shorthanded. They lost two more players on top of the three they were already short coming into this game, and was able to hang tight in the second half with a very, very good Boise State team that's won 4 straight Mountain West championships. And I have to imagine if you're Utah State heading into the game number 2 on Saturday, you at least feel pretty good about the way that you played today, and feel pretty good about your odds to come out and hang with them on Saturday. So we've got Coach Ard coming over to throw on the headset. We'll talk to her here in just a moment, and interested to hear her thoughts on this contest as Utah State falls by 18 points. So Coach throws on the headset. Coach, you know, obviously you guys got off to a slow start, but it felt like a really solid performance through the remaining 3 quarters. I know you were shorthanded. You lost a couple more players. Can you talk about your team and their effort and their willpower through really up to the end of this game?
Yeah, like you said, I thought we started off really bad. We've been having trouble with that, coming out of the gate strong. You know, that first quarter, 22-8, it was hard to dig out of that.
Sure.
But you know, I thought we really battled the rest of the game. I really liked our fight, like you said. I mean, having Megan go out, she was having a really good game, and then Hallie went out. Neither one of those guys could return, and you know, we were really shorthanded, so we were playing with 6 players there, 6-man rotation there. We got kids playing out of position. Didn't have a point guard all night. It's just, you know, it's tough, but I asked the kids to just fight, you know, give all they had, and I thought they did a good job of that. So I was really, really proud of their effort and the way they came together. Not the result we want, obviously, but, you know, I really liked their fight.
Well, and you guys won the third quarter. The fourth quarter was within a couple of points. How hard is it to overcome a start like that, despite playing pretty good basketball the rest of the way?
Well, you know, 22-8. I mean, I thought the rest of the game we played pretty good, but again, we're back at the thing. We put 3 quarters together.
Sure.
You know, we still hadn't got to 4. And the kids are exhausted. I know that that they're tired, but it's tough to dig out of that. You know, that's a big deficit, and we got to get better at that. We got to learn how to come out of the gate stronger than that, and we've been struggling with that a lot. So hopefully we can make those adjustments. But this is a good team. They're physical. They're big.
Right.
You know, they're a lot bigger than us, a lot more physical than us. And, you know, for our kids to hang in there like that, it felt like a hell of a lot closer game than that. So, you know, not looking at the score, just looking at what was going on the court, it felt like a lot closer game. So I'm proud of our kids. I think they're fighting. And like you said, we're shorthanded. They're giving me everything they got. So I'll take that.
Can you talk about some of these players that had to come in and step up and fill in roles with, like you said, you didn't have a starting point guard. You didn't have – I mean, you lost 2 more players during the game. Can you just talk about some of the players that did come out and perform well despite all that? Yeah,
you know, I thought Mo came in and gave us a spark for sure. Taylor was a really big spark for us. You know, she had 6 points, 6 rebounds. I mean, she really came in and gave us some energy. I thought she was really good. Kinley got going there, hit a couple threes. I really felt like Emmy was trying to put it on her back, and you know, she knows we don't have a point guard right now, so she's up there trying to run that for us. So you know, I thought Emily came in and she gave us that and one. That was a big play, big momentum right there. So we just got to put some things together. You know, we hit that big 3 down here by Mo, and then we go down the other end and lose their shooter, and then they hit a 3. So we had the momentum for about 10 seconds. You know, and that was a crucial point in the game. That would have cut it, I believe, to single digits right there. And so we just got to grow. You know, it's a process. We're still getting there. We're not there yet, but we're taking steps. I wanted to take a step today, and our kids showed some toughness today. So to me, that's a step in the right direction, so I'll take that.
Well, Coach, the good news is you get another stab at them here in a couple of days. So good luck here getting ready for that, and we'll see you again on Saturday, all right?
All right, thanks, man.
Okay, appreciate it, Coach. So that's Utah State head coach Kayla Ard Really, I mean, you look at the box score. The second, third, and fourth quarters were really close. It was good basketball. It's just that 22-8 first quarter that she referenced that was tough for Utah State to come back from. All right, we're going to take a timeout. What we'll do is, if you're listening to us here on the Mountain West Network, thanks for joining us. That stream is going to end, but if you want to listen to post-game, we'll be on 92.3 FM as well as AggieRadio.com. If you want to join us for the post-game show, we'll go over some more stats, look at individual leaders, and get you ready for Saturday's contest for round 2 between Utah State and Boise State. All right, final score from the Spectrum. Boise State 87, Utah State 69 here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.